It's a meter indicating frequencies and level of those frequencies as it's playing. So that can give you an indication of whether you've got a lot of low end going on, or what's your high frequency at, so on and so forth. The spectrogram, that's a visual color representation of the various frequencies that are going on in there. And quite often that's very helpful, if you're listening and watching something and you can see see different colors and so on and so forth. That's really what when I show you in a little bit what the spectral editor looks like, it looks exactly like that. And as you play along, you might see something specifically, any one of these little lines here or something like that, you'll hear as you play over it, and that which you'll see. Well, let me set it. It's actually set to contrast right now, but in the default mode, you can see. So let's do something crazy. These guys down here, that drum beat right there. Somebody says I don't like that drum beat right there. It's gone. Now you can hear a dip in the overall audio because that's a pretty drastic, response to something. You likely wouldn't necessarily do something like that, or you might say, well, I like the fact that you've reduced the drum, but we can't completely get rid of it. So you've got the strength meter right here. You can back off on that. And as you back off on it, you'll see some of the color come back. And now it's really just diminished to a certain extent. But under the right circumstances, that's an awful lot to ask a program to do. But there may have been an extraneous noise in there someplace. There might have been a cymbal hit would be a little difficult, but something that was a little shorter than that, maybe an extra slight drum hit, maybe somebody moved, a chair creak, a stand hit, whatever. Something happened in the background. You go in there and literally draw it out. When you do, like you literally see it go away. That's gone now, as you can see, and you can tell the difference by doing that. That sort of lets you hear it and then go like that again, and it's gone. So that's looking at the left and the right and saying, based on the information that's on the left and based on the information that's on the right, I'm going to interpolate that in that frequency, what's called comparisonics, which is a great representation of the audio in a format that is also color dependent. And the darker the frequency, the more low information there is, and the lighter the frequencies, the higher information there is. So, you can even hear as you're playing along the difference between this part. Here there must be a guitar or something. Right? It's the dominant frequency, whatever's sort of highest in the audio spectrum level. Sequoia looks at it, and it's on the object level. So I've got analog EQ on that, which is right there. That is a CubeTech plugin. Fabulous. And I've got loudness maximizer on it. Really quickly, I can take these plugins out of the chain. Let me show you what they are.
Careful, man. You might be giving away your trade secrets here now.
Not at all. These are well-known.
Don't be showing off this stuff.
And ammunition, which is right there. Okay, these three plugins. All right. Now, in this day and age, the whole deal is about being loud. Okay, so here's what they gave me. All right. And that's what we did. You can hear a lot more definition in the upper frequencies and the lower frequencies because of the EQ. We've got ammunition on there first. No, we don't. We have loudness maximizer on there first, which is great because it's adding a little bit of density to the audio material. And then we've got ammunition on afterwards, giving us a lot more punch. Right? So that's what they gave me, and that's what you end up with. Yeah, and that's all that's all on the object level, because even though I may have the same three plugins on the next piece of audio that I did, which I wanted to do because I've got to bring them all into the same world. The EQ, the settings that I've got on each one of them may or may not be the same, and I may have extra plugins on or may not have extra plugins on in order to make them what I need it to be in order to make an album. And down here, this neat little deal here, which resides down here at the bottom, gives me an instant source as to where I am and what I'm playing. This is highlighting the track. It's giving me all kinds of information. It's giving me the position, the name, the length, the end, whether I raise it in volume or not, if it's grouped anything else, if the track is locked, the resolution is 24-bit, they're stereo interleaved files, the sample rate is 44.1, and the effects that I have on them. and then where the wave project actually is, and that's only just one. I can look at the individual files. I can look at clips associated with it. Here's what's happening on the tracks. A quick idea of what's going on here. What tracks are what, whether they're muted, whether they're in record, mono, whether they're locked, so on and so forth. Markers. These are the names of the songs, and that's what will be on the CD. There are no ranges in here at the time. Here's some takes, a source list. This is all coming from the same place, so it's not that big a deal, but in some cases it's a big deal. VSTI instruments, there are none on here right now, but they're very cool, and it obviously supports that, and the routing. Where is everything going? Well, right now we're making a CD, so it's only going to 2 channels. But as you can see, I've got 48 channels to choose from down there, because that's how many I have on the... I've got 64 channels on my MADI card, but my console supports 48. So the way ASIO works, I just disabled the others, because I don't want that DSP being eaten up by the computer. So you see 48 channels of digital audio. So and all that is like right there immediately for you to see instantly. It's very, it's a very quick reference to what's going on. If you've got, because Sequoia does a lot. And if somebody's client sitting next to you saying, why am I hearing that, or what's going on there, or can you solo that up, or I just want to hear that part of it, or then you instantly you can scroll along the bottom there and see what's going on. So. It's pretty neat.